Yo, what is going on, you guys? It is Necro Eric here, and I was bringing this quick video for the week of Thursday, April the 6th, Friday, April the 7th, Saturday, April the 8th, and there was nothing going on for me on Sunday and Monday too much. So, we'll get into it. It was a pretty nice little chill weekend, especially compared to WrestleMania weekend, which was bonkers. So, let's get into it. We had the Cinderella Stardom tournament. It was continuing. 2 shows. These were last week, and they were not live, so they were taped and then they eventually released. Looked like Mirai defeated Saya Ida. Xena defeated Thekla, and none of these matches were even notable, in my opinion. Mai Sakurai defeated Mariah May. Natsukatora defeated Tam Nakano. And Saki Kashima defeated Suri in their 3rd round matchup. And then there was also a couple of tag team matches. Nothing notable, nothing too crazy, but the Cinderella tournament continued. And then we had also another show the next day, so back-to-back shows for this. A couple of singles matches, some gauntlet, nothing too crazy. This looked like it might have been a little bit of action. 22 minutes. But this show did feature 4 quarterfinal matches. Waka Mania continues. Waka Tsukiyama defeats Saki Kashima to move on. So the dream is still alive for Waka Mania. Mirai defeats Xena, 6 minutes 23. Amy Sure defeats Natsuko Tora. And Mai Sakurai defeated Momo Watanabe. So they all move on. Semifinals and finals, I'm not sure if they will take place on the same night. I haven't really looked into it, but we'll see, we'll find out. Then we had Wrestling Open episode 66 on IWTV every Thursday forever. Steven Stetson defeated Marcus Mathers in an amazing match in a quarterfinals of the Wrestling Open Championship tournament. I was very impressed with this match. If you watch anything from this show, you're going to want to watch Steven Stetson versus Marcus Mathers. Very good match. And then we had Notorious Mimi defeating Vicious Vicky. Joe Acasio defeated Bobby Buffet. I just didn't like that match very much. Ryan Clancy defeated Sammy Diaz in a great one. Anastasia Morningstar defeated Zeta Steel. Some good old Anastasia squash. Can't go wrong. RJ Rude defeated Motor by DQ. I don't remember what happened. The Hispanic Mechanics. Oh, they're one of the greatest teams ever. Jose and Hose B defeated Milk Chocolate, Brandon Watson, Randy Summers. That was also a really fun match. Great stuff. Then we had Ichiban defeating Pedro Donez at 9 minutes 9 seconds in the other quarterfinal matchup of the night. Right? Yes. Oh no, there was 3 quarterfinal matchups. My bad. Anyway, in the second one of 3, Ichiban actually defeats Pedro Donez. I was very surprised. So 9 minutes 9 seconds, Ichiban moves on. Then we had Max Caster defeating Eric Chacha, who came out. It was supposed to be 50 cal. Randomly just came out and then gets destroyed. Max Caster then defeats 50 cal pretty handily. And surprisingly, Bryce Donovan makes his return from his wrist injury. Great to see that he wasn't out for too long. And he actually defeats Max Caster here. 8 minutes 48. Great long-term storytelling. Great stuff. They're former members of the... Max Caster used to be in the Shook crew. So it's very good just long-term storytelling on this one. And in your main event of this show, Brad Hollister, Big Bacon, defeats Bobby Orlando, your mom, in the Wrestling Open title tournament quarterfinals to move on. So Brad Hollister is moving on. Unfortunately, Bobby Orlando is not, but it was a pretty good match as well. Great main event. Awesome show by Wrestling Open. Episode 66, available on VOD, on IWTV if you want to check it out. Always worth it. It's one of the best shows of the week, every single week. Then we had Wrestling Revolver Thursday. Now, I was hoping this would have been a better show, but Matthew, whatever the hell this guy's name is, the Aiden English from WWE fame, he is just so poor on commentary that it actually takes me completely out of the show. JT Dunn defeated Mayan Reed. Chris Sabin defeats Brian Keith. What a joke. Birdlaw defeated F Around and Find Out. That's probably a decent match. I tried to get into it, but this freaking commentary just took me out of it completely. There was a sudden death 6-way scramble. Gringo Loco wins. Madman Fulton defeated Crash Jackson in a probably decent Hots fight, but like I said, I couldn't get into it. Miyu Yamashita defeated Ali Catch pretty handedly. The Pro Wrestling Revolver Tag Team Championships changed hands. The ABC, Ace Austin and Chris Bay, they defeated the Rascals for the belts. And in your main event of this show, the Pro Wrestling Revolver Remix title, Alex Shelley defeated Jake Christ. So, I didn't really enjoy this show. Usually Revolver is a little bit better sometimes. This was not one of them. A couple of decent matches here and there, but overall not really the greatest show. You can check it out if you want, though. It's available on Fight. And we had Mr. Green Mist's Pro Wrestling Potluck, which is on every Thursday for free on his Twitch. I'm not sure what's going on here. I got a blank screen. This shit is not loading. But basically, he throws together a 2-hour mix of stuff that people send him every single week. So I sent him 1,500 matches. Other people send him stuff. This past week was basically just all Buzzbin, really popular matches from the course of the WrestleMania weekend, plus a couple of other matches. A ode to the sheep herders because of the death of one of the bushwhackers. So this one was called Pro Wrestling Potluck, the Pot Bomb, episode 61. So it's available on archive on his YouTube, and it's also available on his hard drive, on a OneDrive that you can access through his link in. So I'll put a link down below to the Pro Wrestling Potluck on Twitch, and then you can always from there find the hard drive or the OneDrive or whatever if you want to check it out. It's an amazing show, so always recommend it. And we had West Coast Pro, home of the Killers. This was one of the marquee shows for Friday night. It was really enjoyable. Brett the Threat defeating JT Thorne, 8 minutes 34. West Coast Wrecking Crew, Jarrell Nelson and Royce Isaacs defeated the Velocities, Jude London and Paris Da Silva, at 11 minutes 41. Aja Kong handedly defeats Verks Vixen, as expected. Decent, 8 minutes 22. Wasn't anything too crazy, but it is what you expect for a aged Aja Kong match in this current day. Brian Keith defeated Jordan Oliver in one of my favorite matches of the night, 7 minutes 22. I thought it was really good. They didn't get too much time, but they managed to hit each other pretty hard, so I liked it. Mike Bailey defeats Michael Oku at 19 minutes 29 in most definitely probably the match of the night. Really enjoyed it. This Michael Oku's really impressive. Alpha Zoe defeats Leo Rush at 13 minutes 34. Not bad. It was a pretty decent little match. For your West Coast Pro Women's Championship, Masha Slamovich, the champion, retained over Miyu Yamashita, 17 minutes 27. Also really good, except I kind of felt it felt a little off. They were doing everything right, but I don't know what happened. It just felt I don't know. You know, that happens sometimes. One of them might have had an off night. You never know. But very weird. But Masha Slamovich does retain. 17 minutes 27. And your main event of this show, which I didn't really like this being the main event, but for storyline purposes it made sense. Jacob Fatu, Starboard Charlie, and Vinny Massaro defeat Alan Angels, Kevin Blackwood, and Titus Alexander at 18 minutes 52. It was not great, but it is what it is. It was all right. And this show overall was pretty good. I didn't hate it, actually. It was all right. It was okay. If you want to check it out, it's available on IWTV. And we had Black Label Pro at Squared Circle Expo. This was on Fight. I really expected this to be a better match, a better show. It was unfortunately not that great. But Bang Bros did retain their Black Label Pro Tag Team Championships over Twist and Flip. Nate Matthews retained his NWP Championship over Matt Brannigan. In my match of the show, which is not saying much, it was a pretty rough show, Tom Lawler defeats Jake Something. So if you're going to check anything out on this show, it's most definitely this match. And we had Violence is Forever, Dominic Greeny, Kevin Koo, defeating the Philly Marino Experience, Marino Tanaglia, and Philly Collins. I have no idea who those are. Isaiah Moore defeats Myron Reed. So a decent match. They could have gone crazier. I was expecting a little bit more. Singles match, Su Yung defeats Rachel Armstrong, 10 minutes even. Not bad. It was okay. Just classic Su Yung stuff. Davey Vega and Shazza McKenzie defeat Hysteria. And Jake Oman retains his Squared Circle Expo Championship over Madman Fulton. And in your main event, Joshua Bishop retains the Black Label Pro Midwest Championship over the veteran Gangrel, which none of these were it wasn't that great. Honestly, it wasn't good at all. But it is what it is. If you want to check it out, if you enjoyed it, kudos. But if you want to check it out, Fight TV. Now we had CMLL's Friday pay-per-view on Ticketmaster. This was an awesome Lucha Libre show. We had Acero Chocarito and Ultimo Dragoncito defeat Mercurio Minos and Pequeno Polvora. I didn't even see this one. 9 minutes 47. Okay. Then we had best 2 out of 3 falls lucha matches. 3 of them 6-man tags. La Catlina, Stefan Vacas, and Zukis defeat La Chicas Indomables. So 12 minutes 2 seconds. Pretty good. We had Atrapasuenos, Dolce Gardina, Espirito Negro, and Rey Cometa defeat La Fuerza Poblana, Pegaso Stigma, and Rey Samurai. 14 minutes 7. This one was so fun. Really enjoyed them. This show was really solid. CMLL is top tier right now. They are really putting out some fantastic lucha libre. If you're interested, 100% worth bootlegging this or picking up the pay-per-view if you want. But really good. Then we had another best 2 out of 3 6-man. Pantera del Ring, Templario, and Titan defeat Angel del Oro, Dragon Rojo Jr., and Niebla Roa at 19 minutes. Excellent lucha libre. Amazing. Just incredible stuff. And then we had a lightning match, of course. Valador Jr. defeats Ultimo Guerrero, 9 minutes 11. They did the stuff, lightning match style. Can't go wrong. It was pretty good. And in your main event, it was a Campeón Universo de CMLL semifinal 3-way elimination match. And Atlantis Jr. defeats Mystico and Rocky Romero. So Mystico first eliminated Rocky Romero, and then Atlantis Jr. then eliminated Mystico for the victory at 22 minutes 34. This was the match of the night, easily cooked. This was incredible lucha. Loved this show. This was one of the best shows of the weekend, easily. Very good stuff by CMLL. You want to check it out? Friday pay-per-view, Ticketmaster, or bootleg, up to you. But I would watch it even if it is bootleg. It's worth it. All right, and we had TJPW's return to Japan after their week in LA. Hikari Noah defeated Shino Suzuki. This was available on Wrestle Universe as well, by the way, at the KFC Hall. Arisu Endo, Haruka Zishiro, and Runa Okubo defeated Mahiro Kira, Toga, and Wakana Uehara at 8 minutes 27. A lot of the young wrestlers getting a chance. It's good. Suzumi defeated Himawari, 5 minutes 11. Yuki Kamifiku defeats Haruna Nico, 6 minutes 29. Good stuff. Yeah, this was solid. Pretty straightforward show, though. Nothing too crazy happened. We had Miya Watanabe and Rika Tatsumi defeating Koya Toribami and Shoko Nakajima at 13 minutes 11. And the main event of this show was a tag team match. Nao Kakuta and Palm Harajuku defeat Mizuki and Mocha Miyamoto at 13 minutes 45. Decent show, straightforward. Like I said, nothing crazy, but always worth checking out. This is one of the best companies in the world. NJPW, available on Wrestle Universe. Check it out, check it out. And one of the biggest shows of the weekend easily was 2023 version of New Japan's Sakura Genesis. One of the biggest shows of the spring in all of wrestling. Let's see what happened. It was a good one. We had the 6-man surprise match. Ended up being Great Okan, Minoru Suzuki, and Toru Yano. And then they defeated El Desperado, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Yo. Very surprising teammates. I wasn't expecting that. But that's the point. It was a surprise match. Then we had a couple of 6-man tags. United Empire defeated House of Torture. Just 5 Guys defeated Los Incomplenables de Japón. And Bullet Club defeated Gorillas of Destiny and Master Wato. And I was like, wait a minute, what? Girl Destiny? And I was like, no, Hikuleo. I was like, whoa, he's back? Like, no, okay. And then, for the big stuff on this show, we had title matches galore. Excellent stuff here. Mercedes Moné defeats AZM and Hazuki to retain her IWGP Women's Championship at 13 minutes 53. I thought it was a pretty decent match. It wasn't as bad as I was expecting. Azumi and Hazuki really stepped it up and made sure it was a good match. And Monet didn't botch too much. She actually looked great. So good on Sasha, and actually a worthwhile match going back and looking at. Crazy. It's Monet's first decent match outside of WWE, in my opinion. That's not a match against like a former WWE wrestler where they wrestle a WWE style match, basically Kairi. So great to see, and she retains her belt. So next on the list for her is the Icon, Mayu Iwatani. And I don't think they can have a bad match, I'll be honest. Mayu Iwatani is a freaking incredible wrestler, so be interesting to see. A lot of stuff coming out of this show. And we had Zack Sabre Jr. He retains his NJPW New Japan World TV Championship over Shota Umino. 13 minutes 35. Pretty standard match. The 15-minute time limit on this match really kind of kills it a little bit. It makes it not really able to get too much traction. It's kind of always going to be a short match. They did their best, but it was good. Like, Sabre Jr. is amazing. So, you know it's going to be a good match, but I was just hoping that it packed a bit more in, maybe? I don't know. Maybe I don't know. It just wasn't it for me. Decent match, though. And then we had an IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championship match. And this one was a doozy. Aussie Open, Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis defeat Bishamon, Hiroki Goto, and Yoshihashi at 15 minutes 30 seconds to become the new champions. One of the Aussie Open guys busted up his head. It was amazing. It was just such a visual, and then they started working, because I don't think they had a story for this match. I think it was just going to be a duo moves kind of match, but then with the head injury, they really started focusing on the head and told that story with the head. So it ended up becoming an incredible match because of that. So I would 100% recommend. This was probably the match of the show. Probably. It's up there. It was really good. So 100% check that out. Then we had an IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship match. Hiromu Takahashi, the champion, did retain his belt over Robbie Eagles at 21 minutes 12 seconds in an incredible matchup. They're working the leg. Eagles was like really working on Hiromu's leg. It was looking like they were gonna 100% win it. I thought he was gonna win it, and Hiromu just beasts out of it, gets his big move and wins. But what a match! What a match! Totally worth going back and checking out. 100% worth it. What a match! Really good stuff. And in the main event, IWGP World Heavyweight Championship match. Sanada defeats Kazuchika Okada at 26 minutes 58 to become the new IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, new IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. It's his first world title ever. So, Seiya Sanada, finally a world champion. So good. We always thought, well, at least I always thought, he would never get it in New Japan. Thought he was stuck behind Naito, stuck in LIJ. But it looks now like they're finally pulled the trigger, and I couldn't be happier. This is what was needed. Sanada, now it's time to see what Sanada can do with the belt. And even if he loses it eventually soon, like, you know, within a couple of defenses, he can. It's just great. A new face in the heavyweight, world heavyweight title picture. It's always good. Incredible match. I don't think it was as good as their previous two meetings, but regardless, the Sanada win makes it so sweet. New Japan Sakura Genesis, what a show. Check it out, it was on New Japan World. Then we had this MCW Blood in the Water show that was live on Fight around the same time as Sakura Genesis. So I didn't even actually watch the show, but I'm going to shout out the results anyway. I tuned in a little bit. It wasn't really that great, but it's always nice to see some other wrestlers that you've never seen before. Like I had never seen Eli Theseus or Gabriel Eros, and they really impressed me. Who else was it? Tommy Knight? Yeah, Tommy Knight looked amazing, which I was like, wow, I don't know who this guy is, but he's looking good. So, decent show. Probably worth your time to check it out if you want. Some Australian wrestling, some stars you don't normally see. Can't go wrong. And it was on Fight pay-per-view, so you might want to bootleg it. And, whoops, that shouldn't be there. Freelance Underground, Into the Fire. This was a really fun show. I always love Freelance Underground. They are one of the more fun shows that air on IWTV. This was Sean Logan versus El Torero. Well, there's no results here, unfortunately. I don't even remember what happened here. Shazza McKenzie faced Alice Crowley. And that was like the only thing I really watched. Storm Grayson versus Wes Barkley. Wes Barkley wins and then beats Chico Suave. I don't really remember. I was really intoxicated for this one. I think is this the same night as this? Yeah, it is. Okay, yeah, no, I was like completely out of it. And this should have been earlier. Actually, it should have been earlier. But yeah, it was pretty wild. Freelance Underground, Into the Fire. If you want to check it out, it was on IWTV. Freelance and Freelance Underground, always pretty excellent shows. Just fun little independent wrestling. So yeah. We had All Japan Pro Wrestling's Champions Carnival earlier in the morning. I did not watch this live because there was New Japan was on and a couple of other things were on, I believe. But they had their most of this was actually pretty bad for freaking Champions Carnival standards. I was pretty disappointed. But if you want to check out anything on this show, 100% recommend these last two matches. Really good stuff here. Suwama defeats Yuma Anzai, 14 minutes 51 in a Block B match. And Yuma Iwagi finally gets his first win over Kenta Miyahara, which I wish would have been in a bigger position, bigger show. But he gets the win, 18 minutes 22. These two were excellent matches. The rest of this stuff was totally forgettable. So it's pretty unfortunate to see. Usually, for Champions Carnival standards, it's usually a little bit better, but it is what it is. If you want to check it out, it's available on All Japan Pro Wrestling TV or on Bootleg, of course. And I would probably recommend bootlegging it. It's like you already got like 60 fucking subscriptions. You don't need another one, but all right. And this was insane. This was UFC 287 MMA pay-per-view. This was absolutely wild. Sam Hughes defeated Jacqueline Amorim by unanimous decision. Steve Garcia defeated Shailan Nordebike. I can't even say that. Butchered it. By TKO uppercuts to the body. I didn't even see any of these fights. Actually, I think I tuned into the women's fight and then I was really intoxicated. Ingacio Bahamondes defeats Trey Ogden by decision, unanimous. Lupita Godinez defeated Cynthia Calvillo by split decision. Joe Pyfer defeated Gerald Mershert by right cross to the ground and then ground strikes. Oh yeah. And Luana Pinheiro defeated Michelle Waterson Gomez by split decision. I don't know if I agree with that one. A couple of these decisions were kind of questionable, but that's why you never got to leave it to the judges. You always got to try and get a finish. Kevin Gastelum defeated Chris Curtis by unanimous decision in the featured prelim. And in the main card, this main card was actually pretty freaking dope. Not gonna lie. Christian Rodriguez defeated Raul Rosas Jr. by unanimous decision. Good fight. Kevin Holland defeated Santiago Ponzinibbio by TKO left hook in round 3. And Rob Font defeated Adrian Yanez by right hook to then ground strikes. Good fight. Gilbert Burns defeated Jorge Masvidal by decision. And Masvidal, the beast, announced he's probably going to end up retiring now. But wow. And Israel Adesanya in this main event defeats Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira got too overzealous, and it almost looked like Israel Adesanya was going to get knocked out, but then bang, counter right, and then boom, ground strike a couple times. Israel Adesanya is your winner with one of the greatest celebrations I've ever seen to a fight in my life. Hilarious, amazing stuff. Cannot wait for round 3. This is going to be an amazing trilogy. The first fight was incredible. I wish I would have gotten a reaction to this one, but the stream wasn't working, so we unfortunately couldn't get a reaction to the knockout because it would have been amazing. It would have been such a hilarious reaction. But eventually, once we upgrade the computer or whatever, we can finally get some real reactions going for the channel. But yeah, UFC 287 pay-per-view, 100% worth checking out. Then we had a DDT Pro show, so they're returned from LA as well. Classic DDT, cannot go wrong. Damnation TA defeated Antonio Honda and Kazuma Sumi. Yuya Kuroku defeated Rukia. It was a 6-man tag. Akito, Shanshiro Kawamatsu, and Toi Kojima defeated Disaster Box and Gota Ihashi. Disaster Box is Kazuki Hirata and Owashi. 6-man tag. Eruption, Hideko Okatani, Saki Akai, and Yukio Sakaguchi defeat Hiramao, Kazusada Higuchi, Ryota Nakatsu, and Yuki Ishida. Yuki Ino defeated Uni. Pretty straightforward standard matches the whole way here. Nothing too notable happened in this show, I'll be honest. Burning defeated Chris Brooks, Joey Janela, Naruki Doi, and Takeshi Masada. Standard. Building towards their, I believe there's going to be an explosion show here coming up for DDT. Should be pretty entertaining. And then we got a 6-man tag, the Boys Pheromones, Danishiko Dino, Yuki Ino, and Yumehito Imanari defeat Makoto Oishi, Yashi, and Yuji Hino. Classic butthole to face stuff here. Oh yeah, good stuff. And your main event, a no-nonsense KOD tag team title match. Mao and Shunma retain their championships over Harashima and Keigo Nakamura. And this was actually easily the best match of the show. I really liked Mao and Shunma. Harashima's excellent, classic, and Nakamura is like really growing on me, even though he's really undersized. Been really enjoying his work. So if you want to check out any match in this show, 100% these last 2 matches were great. Even this was okay. The rest of this was kind of meh, but it is what it is. It's one of the returning shows. And it's DDT April Fools 2023, and it was available on Wrestle Universe. And we had DOA Port Slamdia, and this was on IWTV. I didn't even watch most of this, to be honest, but Derek Shaw defeated Daniel Makabe. Drexel defeated Back to School Brian. What happened here? Jake Kwan won the DOA Pure Wrestling Championship. And Rebel Kell defended the DOA Grand title over Nick Radford. And there was a title change. We have new DOA Tag Team Championships. The Hammer Brothers defeated the Bash Bros and Konami Code. Not too bad. It's always good to see some different wrestling here. From Portland, Oregon. If you want to check it out, it's available on IWTV. For sure. Then we had Hoodslam Fallen Idols. This was on Fight Plus. Pretty late. It was around the same time as UFC, I believe. But we had Brittany Wonder defeating Dark Sheik, Lara Frazier, and Richard Schnary. Brooke Havoc defeated Anton Voorhees. Now, the only thing I didn't like about this show is they had the commentary going to, like, everybody. It was, like, over-the-top PA commentary. Really annoying, but it is what it is. Vipers defeated Maki in a pretty straightforward match. Glam number 1 contendership match. Trish Adora defeated Milo. Most of these matches were pretty quick and just meh kind of matches. This 6-man tag was pretty funny. A lot of comedy on this one. A lot of comedy on this show. Hoodslam is known for being a very upbeat, pretty fun company. So in the main event of this show, probably the best match of the night, El Chupacabra defeats James C. 16 minutes, 57. Pretty damn good one. So if you want to check it out, always good little show, some uplifting stuff. It's available on Fight Plus. And then we had a couple of events from Stardom to finish us off here. Yep. So we had just some straightforward standard stuff from Stardom. This was on what? Saturday? Yeah, this was on Saturday as well. I believe this was not live. This was taped and then released eventually. Looks like they went Amy Sure and Himeka went to a time limit draw. That could be interesting. And in a 6-woman tag match, Oyodo Tai defeat Queen's Quest. Cosmic Angels defeat Donna Del Mondo. Club Venus win twice. Yeah, not too terrible. If you want to check it out, it's available on Stardom World or on paper or on bootleg, of course. But yeah, check it out, Stardom. And we also had another show from Yamagata. So the first show was in Aomori, and this show was in Yamagata. And it doesn't look like anything too crazy happened in this one either. It's pretty standard matches. Natsupoi wins. Tam Nakano wins. Jesse and Waka win. Club Venus defeats Queen's Quest. And it looks like Donna Del Mondo and Stars went to a time limit draw, 15 minutes. God's Eye and Konami defeat Oyodo Tai, 10 minutes. And in the main event of this little show, Maika Mirai and Sayaka Matani defeat Himeka, Sayalita, and Utami Hayashishida. I always mispronounce that girl's name. 17 minutes. This looks like it was probably the match of the night. I haven't seen most of this. Besides this, I watched a little bit of the other one, but I haven't seen most of this Yamagata one. But can't go wrong. Stardom's usually pretty decent, pretty straightforward, and it's always really good to check it out if you want. So it's always available, pretty easy to access, not too bad. And we also had some Battle of the Belts, AEW Battle of the Belts, AEW Rampage, Friday Night SmackDown, Monday Night Raw, but I didn't watch any of that. But if you did, let me know what you enjoyed, and if you watched other stuff, let me know what I missed. From Echo Eric, this was your wrestling recap for the week. Peace in the Middle East, and namaste.